Hello and good evening, everybody, and welcome to BCL Beyond the Boundary again with myself, Simon Booth. I'm really pleased to have two young Bolton boys again in Matt and Callum Parkinson. Evening, chaps.
Evening, Booth.
How are we doing, guys? You okay?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
Good. Thanks for taking a bit of time out to speak to me. Obviously regarding cricket and obviously the current situation that we're in. I've been asked by the league to do a few interviews and some of the lads have been good enough to speak to me. I've got a few more lined up. I had Josh Bowanan on the other night as well, which has gone out, and I gave him opportunity to give you two some stick, and he didn't do. So now it's your turn if you want to. So that's open to you if you want it. But first things first, I would imagine the majority of the people who are watching this will know you two guys are, of course. But if you can just sort of introduce yourselves, obviously who you play for, and your current involvement at the moment. If we can start with Cal.
I'm obviously Callum Parkinson, play left-arm spin bowler for Leicestershire. Obviously grew up playing at Heaton and stuff, so obviously had a pretty nice journey through the Bolton League, which obviously, like I said, helps us get to where we are now. So just spin bowler, trying to get myself up the batting order at Leicester. And obviously I can bat a bit better than Matt as well.
Matt?
I'm Matt Parkinson. Play for Lancashire County Cricket Club. I was lucky enough to play for England this winter. Similar story really to Callum. Obviously played for Heaton until the age of 14, and then had a great time there, and probably set the foundation for sort of the career that we've both had so far.
Brilliant. So that sort of sets the scene of obviously where you've come from. Two young lads starting off in the Bolton League, obviously at Heaton. What I want to do now is sort of dive into your journey of where you've started and where you've ended up, and obviously a little bit in the middle. Got a little bit of a script to run to, but nothing too rigid. So I want to go through your journey in terms of, which clubs you've been to, and then we're going to sort of dive into your childhood influences. Obviously, you're still, young lads, still, you're not over the hill yet. So childhood influences, whether it be managers, coaches, and then, we're going to go on about your parents as well, who's been a huge, figure in your lives. A little bit about the pro game. And then I have some questions for you that have been set by people who's tweeted in and left comments on Facebook. So first things first, Matt, I'll come to you. In terms of your journey, from Heaton onwards, just sort of take me through, your journey.
Probably a smoother journey than Callum. Played for Heaton until I was 14. Probably didn't set the world alight really when I was at Heaton. Didn't get to play as much first team cricket as I probably would have liked. And I think at the age of 14, I moved to Urmston then. And I was lucky enough to get a decent run in their first team. Had a great 5 years there. And that was probably the stepping stone from Heaton to Urmston, and was lucky enough to sign a pro contract off the back of some strong showings for Urmston really. And then the past couple of years I played for Edgerton in the GMCL. Quite a smooth journey. I didn't have to leave home like Callum or change clubs as many times as Callum did. I was very lucky. I had a nice home at Urmston for 5 years whilst I was on the Lancashire books as well.
I came to you first because I knew it was going to be nice and short and sweet, and then I can go to Cal and he can show us how he's toiled and gone all over the world and what have you. But over to you, Cal. Let's go through your journey, please.
Yeah, my journey's been probably a bit more complicated than Matt's. Obviously started at Heaton. I was probably I was an absolute jet growing up, really. Probably from early ages at Heaton, I was probably I consider myself quite a bit better than Matt at a young age. Probably took to it a bit more naturally, and obviously Matt's art that he had leg spin was obviously a tricky one to master. So for me, kind of getting a run, got a few games at Heaton first team. I think ideally, obviously I was at Heaton until I was 14, like Matt said, but ideally I'd have stayed another year, but obviously things play out the way they did, and no, it wasn't their fault. We'll always love Heaton, but ideally I'd have stayed one more year, I think. But obviously circumstances didn't allow that, and we moved over to Urmston, and it was a real kind of searching period for me in terms of not really knowing what I was or what I was going to be. I was obviously a quick bowler growing up, like quite fast actually, from about 11 to 15. But the height kind of, well, you look at my old man, the height kind of was never going to be there for me. So obviously Matt, by the age of 15, was taking lots of first team wickets. So I had to move. I started bowling left arm spin. I moved from Mermston to Stretford for a year, which was massive for me. Pretty poor side, but I bowled 25 overs a week, which obviously for any young spinner is crucial. I really felt like the pro in that side, obviously opening the batting and bowling 25 overs. So did a year there. I did a year at Clifton as well after that, which didn't work out as well as I'd have liked personally and for the team really. I enjoyed the lads, but and then luckily I managed to kind of come full circle and go and spend a couple more years at Urmston, which I really enjoyed. Kind of was on Derbyshire Academy as well when I was at Urmston when I was about 16, 17. So I was down there 3 times a week, and then luckily got a breakthrough there and signed with Leicester in, I think it would have been end of 2016, I think. So yeah, a bit more of a roundabout journey, a few clubs and plenty of travelling, but it's definitely been worth it.
So you touched on travelling there, and I'm going to go straight into like your influences and people who've influenced your career sort of growing up. And this is you've got carte blanche here, so I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but we'll start with Matt. You know, people within your junior game going through to the senior game, you know, coaches at, you know, wherever, clubs and ranks, of course. Who would you say had the biggest influence on your career growing up?
I think like early doors, I can't really look past my dad really. Being a leg spinner in Bolton, or just being a leg spinner in England, really is tough. And there was days where it doesn't go quite so well. And there's days probably where other people are telling you should like give up or it's too difficult. And to have the support of my dad for the first sort of 3 or 4 years, bowling leg spin was amazing. And he's still someone I can go to now. And he still does try and coach a little bit when he sees me, but I try to let it breeze by. Yeah, he was fantastic, and he was probably key in me moving to Urmston. And similar to Callum really with his year at Stretford, I was so lucky at Urmston to have sort of 5 mint years there. The wickets were belters, and I was the main player in the side. So yeah, he was obviously fantastic. And then probably a little bit older, John Stanworth, he used to be the academy director at Lancashire. Quite a scary bloke, but probably turned me from a good club cricketer into someone that was probably banging down the door for a contract.
Well, Cal, over to you.
Yeah, again, I'll echo what Matt said. Dad was brilliant, especially for me when I kind of didn't have a driving licence. He'd drive me to Derby. I think, what was it, Monday, Wednesdays and I think Saturday morning, 9 a.m, which was a bit of a killer. And then moving on from there, I've always had quite a close relationship with Paul Tebay. I still try and see him in October and stuff and kind of pick his brains. Obviously, quite a few of the viewers will know Teebs. He's quite straight to the point and stuff. And
yeah, plenty knowledge as well. I think he's someone that a lot of us have growing up. I think I spent a lot of time because I worked for him for a long time. Definitely someone like Teebs is definitely worth speaking to. Yeah,
and and the thing is with Teebs as well, he breaks it down. And sometimes I'd leave them sessions thinking, I'm a professional cricketer here, but God, like that were hard, or I've not played well there. And so I've managed to see him most Octobers. And then kind of moving on from that, John Sadler was a big thing for me. He was Derbyshire's second. He was assistant coach when I was on the academy, giving my debut. And then obviously he joined me to Leicester. And he's been a big kind of help for me throughout the years. So yeah, probably them two stand out.
One thing, obviously, you touched on your old man there as well. And one thing that that Josh Bohannon obviously spoke about was obviously his parents and sort of sacrifice. And, he said, driving up and down the country and taking time out and stuff like that. Obviously, that's been a huge part of both of you being, same age groups, everything. Describe a little bit what that was like, really, I think, growing up. Matt?
Yeah. As you said, the sacrifice and commitment from parents for any sportsman really to become a professional, and sort of the journey that you have from such a young age is massive. And obviously, it's just the basic things really, like being driven to Taunton Festival every year, the kit, just basic things really that as you get older you appreciate, but when you're younger you don't really think about. And yeah, I think obviously Dad sacrificed hour on hour to coach us, and he probably lived and breathed the cricket more. Whereas the emotional side of things was from Mum, and she'd obviously be the one to pick us up after a rubbish day, and there was lots of them. I know obviously Callum's had some tough times that we both have as well, and yeah, you obviously got Dad there as the almost living and breathing it with you, whereas the emotional side was from Mum, and yeah, the sacrifice and commitment from both of them was amazing, and we definitely wouldn't both be professional cricketers without them.
It's a bizarre story really to have. I mean, there's a lot of brothers knocking around who's played league cricket and professional cricket, but you probably know better than me, but it can't be many twins.
No, I don't think there's many. I think the big thing, I'll echo what Matt said, but they never forced us to do cricket, and I think that was a big thing. Dad was never pushy. It was always if we wanted to, and obviously if we wanted to, he'd be there to facilitate. And I think that's a big thing you see sometimes these days. Parents are living kind of their dreams through the kids and stuff, and you'll see it firsthand. And I mean, we see it now. Kind of when I go back to coach the age group, sometimes at Leicester, you do see these pushy parents. And I think the biggest thing for me and Matt was we were allowed to breathe, and we knew that it wasn't the be all and end all. We were always pushed academically to have a second option. Obviously, sometimes that didn't go as well as it should have done. But yeah, I think that was a big thing, and like echo what Matt said, we're obviously very grateful, and stuff that's happened over the past 12 months make us probably even more grateful.
Yeah, because obviously you touched on education then, and obviously both being Bolton School and having a real serious education. So I mean, I've got some questions that have been set by some people who've tweeted in and sent comments to the Facebook, and one of them is actually from a current Bolton School pupil. So we'll go to that in a short while. But where I want to go now with this is sort of into the pro game, really, if that's all right. Because obviously currently, you're both professional cricketers at your respective counties. Obviously, Matt's been privileged enough to pull on the Three Lions as well, which is great. I'm sure he rams that down your throat as well. But sort of what I asked Josh the other night, and I'm going to ask you both the same thing. Where do you see the differences in professional cricket and obviously the amateur game? There's another one about obviously training and coaching and stuff like that. But again, carte blanche. Where do you see the differences? We'll go with Matt first.
Yeah, tough question. I think the obvious difference is probably the skill level of the players. I mean, there are obviously players that have probably missed the ball in club cricket that you think, oh well, maybe they could do well as well. But I think on a whole, probably the skill and the discipline of a lad that makes it professional is probably that little bit more. And we played with lads in the age groups who were fantastic cricketers. Probably not so much different to the lads that have made it professional, but there's probably just that little bit of drive missing. Probably that little percentage of drive to actually think, you know what, I am going to give this a go, and the distractions that normally come with being a 17, 18-year-old trying to make it professional, they probably ruin some lads. And I know me and Callum were very fortunate that we were focused to make it professionally. Probably about the professional game, difference of club cricket, just the wickets are better, the depth of teams are better, and the standards just a bit higher.
Cal?
Yeah, I think Matt's touched on quite a few good points. I think the main difference is the depth is the main difference, really. I mean, you pluck the two or three best players from a club side and whacked them in a first class game. They probably wouldn't look a million miles out of the depth, but they just keep coming. And just think, for example, I'd probably be batting at 3 in most club sides, whereas I play for Leicester, I'm batting at 9. And it's just that difference, yeah. Like Matt said, you need a bit of luck to make it, and then in terms of like, it's just that kind of bit of drive and determination, and yeah, it's just kind of the lifestyle growing up and stuff. Everything kind of weighs in, and I think the kind of the main difference for me is just that depth. Like you just keep coming, like serious players all the way down, and obviously they keep helping.
Example as well. So Josh is a great example of probably that bridge between club cricket and first class cricket. So obviously didn't get signed by Lancashire straight away, and he absolutely took the mick in club cricket for 2 years, or 3 years, or whatever it was, and he was doing that much better than even the best club cricketers. And he only got signed after 2 years of absolute taking the mick for Ormskirk.
Yeah.
And even then, when he made his first class debut, he was batting number 8. And obviously he's gone on and done very well at 3. But I think that just shows that the depth is massive. If Josh Pannon comes in at 8 in a club game, you're thinking, who am I playing against? It's like Bamford Fieldhouse, like all over again.
Be like 500 for 5 or something like that if he's coming in there. But yeah, I mean, when I spoke to him the other night, and he echoed exactly what you guys had said, and it was interesting that at one point he was thinking of packing in altogether, and going on the tools with his brother and being a spark and leaving the cricket. Have you two ever, got to the point where you felt like, this is not going to happen for me?
Yeah, definitely. I think from my point of view, there was times where, again, I'd be soul searching, driving up the A50 and down to Derby and not getting a game in the second team, and certainly questioned. I remember getting an email with the second team on the week before I made my debut, and I wasn't on it, and I thought, this is it now. I think I messaged my old man and said, I've been doing a little bit of part-time work. When I say part-time work for my dad, I was just sat in the back office playing on like jumpers for goalposts or something. But I kind of, there was an email, and I genuinely thought I might have to ask my old man here, like, can I go and do a bit of work experience? We discussed it kind of probably 3 months prior. So I got the email, and then luckily enough, the email came and got a phone call saying you're in the first team squad. So it just shows like you can be so close to giving up. And I think that was one thing I wanted to echo while I was on here, is like, for youngsters, you just got to enjoy it, because as soon as you stop enjoying it, like there's times where in the past couple of years, you just don't play as well. Matt will echo, like, even probably times this winter when I could tell, speaking to Matt, he wasn't enjoying it, and probably his performances, they do relate to that. And yeah, in terms of thinking about giving it up, I've been close a couple of times when I was younger.
Yeah. What about you, Matt?
I think a little bit different. As we discussed at the start, I had quite a smooth run, really. Never really thought about giving up, so to speak. I wondered whether I was going to forge a successful career in the game. I think most young players get that. And I struggled to see a way to break into the Lancashire first team, probably 2015 and the start of 2016. And that's probably what Callum alludes to, that it is hard when you're not being selected. And probably people think that it's amazing to be a pro cricketer, but there are some obviously dark times as well. And I probably never thought I wasn't going to play cricket. It was more who I was going to play for, really.
Yeah.
And as Callum said, even when you think you're living the dream, playing for England, you still get those moments where you're not happy, really. And as Callum said, that reflects on your performance. I struggled a lot in South Africa, and when I did get my chance in the one day, as I probably wasn't in the right mental state to do well, really. So they all link in, whether you're thinking about packing in or whether you're just not actually loving the game.
Before I go on to these questions, I'm going to sort of ask you, you can do 3 between you or 3 each, whatever you want to do. But same thing I asked Josh, and I'm not going to lead you on this one, but there'll be some young lads watching this, and there'll be managers and coaches who send this around the WhatsApp groups and say, these are 2 young lads who come from the Bolton League, come from the junior setup. So, essentially anything's achievable. One's playing for England, both playing county cricket. What's your 3 sort of top tips with regards to if you want to be a pro cricketer, what do you need to do? Cal, we'll go with Cal first.
I think the obvious thing is you've got to have a passion for the game. Like the amount we train growing up, and the sacrifices you make, you miss, obviously as you get older, you miss parties, you miss going out with your friends on a Friday. I think you've got to love the game, and that's the first and foremost. If you don't enjoy going to training or sacrificing, kind of getting in late one night after school, then it's not going to work really. You've got, as long as you love the game and enjoy the hard graft. I mean, we'd be training probably most nights. We'd go on everywhere. We'd sneak on Bolton School. Growing up, we'd go on Heaton, go on Bradshire, wherever it was, West Orton. Horwich, I went on Horwich loads with Dave Fairbrother and stuff. So, yeah, I think number one for me is love of the game. If you don't enjoy it, then what's the point?
Matt?
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. I think tied in with that love of the game is almost like a resilience and drive as well. So I think we've spoken a bit on this show so far about there are some dark times playing cricket, and it is quite a lonely game. And I'm not even going to mention me, but Callum growing up, he'd be in fits to tears, and this is probably still going till the age of 16 even.
Yeah.
Sweet, yeah. You have some tough times, and especially growing up, like 13, 14, you're trying to break into your club's first team. I remember I just didn't bowl. I was used to field, and you have to have that resilience and that drive to think, you know what, I am going to get better, and I'm going to show everyone how good I am. And I think that's linked in with what Callum said about your passion for the game. You have to have a love for it, and you have to want to get better, because, like I said, we've seen so many young players, and if they don't love it, they'll just end up sacking it off. And I think that's what separates the good players from the best players is, like Callum said, an absolute passion, but also that almost desire to work hard as well.
Well, thanks, guys. Obviously, anyone listening, you can't get it off any better people, really. People are living it at the moment. They've been through it, from a very young age to present. So, if you're going to listen to anyone, listen to your coaches, listen to your managers, and listen to these people. So we've got some questions for you. So these are going to sort of promote a bit of banter between you two, I'm sure. I'm not going to tell you who's sent these in. People will know who they've sent in. But first question's this. What's it like to play against each other? And do you text each other before the game, telling each other how you're going to get each other out? Let's go with Matt first.
We're actually quite boring on this topic. I know I do, and I'm 99% sure that Callum is as well. We hate playing against each other. We don't mind the 2020 games because we're both bowlers in that format. We don't really bat. And luckily, up until this year, we never had the pleasure of playing a 4-day game against each other. But yeah, I dread it, and I dreaded that whole week. We don't text each other how to get each other out because it's not difficult to get me out. But
from Padding County Cricket.
we do text a lot in the T20s, don't we? About because obviously we're both in the North group, so we share thoughts and plans on batters and what I thought bowling at this player, sort of field settings. Red ball, we haven't really done that, have we? Because it was my first year in Division 2 this year, and we both didn't play a great deal.
I think it's different as well, because especially for me, I've had success in T20 cricket. Obviously, not quite as much as big man down there, but we speak. Obviously, we're real close. I echo Matt. Absolutely hate the week where we play against them. That last week, what was it? End of September was horrific. But because we've grown up, we've had the same journey. We've each seen the sacrifices the other one's made, and we've been there pretty much 95% of the time for the ups and downs, county trials, everything. You've lived and breathed it with each other. The successes, the highs and the lows. And yeah, it's just an awful week because you just want the other one to do real well. So in an ideal world, Leicester win, Matt does well, I do well, everyone's winning.
Wasn't that bad the last game of the season?
No, it weren't.
Wasn't a bad week. I know I got a duck. Oh no, I didn't get a duck. I got 4. You got 20 odd. And we both got 2 wickets. That wasn't that bad. It could have been a lot worse.
And it was
Did that set a record or something where you got each other out? It's never been done before or something like that?
First twins ever, innit? Something.
First twins ever to get each other out in the same game?
Yeah.
Well, it's there. It's not going anywhere. I don't think anyone's going to repeat that anytime soon.
But yeah, we do. We speak a lot, don't we? Matt's give him some credit. He's brilliant with me. He comes across as quite a joker, but his cricket brain has improved a lot in the past 3 or 4 years. Like growing up, I was always probably ahead of him in terms of like thinking about the game and stuff.
Yeah.
But obviously, past 3 or 4 years, his knowledge of the game and knowledge of his craft and stuff, which is why in T20s, obviously we're in the same North group. It's just so useful to ping each other a text like, who have you got tonight? Or you've got Notts at home. And then Matt might have played against Notts 2 days before at the same ground, potentially the same wicket. So I lean on him quite heavily in terms of, and he's just got, I mean, I'm saying like I'm praising him here, but he's got a lot more like self kind of confidence than me in terms of kind of, he just backs himself, and I obviously lean on him quite a lot, especially during that T20 period. Okay.
Second one is very similar. There's 2 questions very similar, so I'm going to sort of merge them together if that's all right. At what age or stage of your career did you think you could make it as a professional cricketer? Let's go with Matt first.
The age I really started thinking I could like make it was probably under 15/16. So I had a really good half season for Urmston in the Cheshire Prem at 15, and then my following year I did really well again for them. But I also had a really good like age group year as well. I remember actually that's probably the last time I ever scored some runs. So with bat and ball, and I captained that year. And I got dropped the year after for you, skippering. I did nothing wrong and I got dropped. But yeah, I think I got like 3 fifers in 3 two-day games, and then went to this regional tournament with the North team and took loads of wickets again there. So yeah, probably under 16s, and then I followed that up at under 17s with a good year as well.
So you're still at school then, Matt? Is that last year of school?
Under 16.
17 with Cannon Slade, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was at Cannon Slade, and it was my last 2. It would have been the summer. What was it? Summer under 16s old, are you then?
20.
Yeah, you leave at sort of 16ish, don't you? So you last year at school.
Just after I'd left school, yeah. I started playing like quite a few second team games that year. I got 5 for in a one-day game against Glamorgan as well. And then I got signed at the end of year 12. So my final year at college, I was professional. But the 2 years before that, probably year 11 and 12 at school, I had 2 good years.
Yeah. Whereas
you probably struggled those. Definitely the year after school was when you started thinking, oh, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Al, so what stage for you
then? Probably like ebbed and flowed really. Like as a youngster, like 13, 14, I thought I'm half decent. Obviously I was bowling my left arm seamers and I was batting pretty well. But I guess at that age you only compare yourself to your peers, don't you? And everyone's at different stages with their height and obviously the growth, strength, for example. And I didn't for a long time, probably up until I made my debut, really. It all came out. I'd done okay. I'd done well in second team cricket as a 19-year-old without like setting it on fire. Like I think I might have got 1 fifer maybe. And I'd done actually all right with the bat. So it was a bit out of the blue, but I got lucky really in terms of like at the time Derby were struggling. The head coach had just left. Sads, like I mentioned earlier, kind of was on an interim basis and they had nothing to play for. I think there was 4 or 5 games left in the year. So actually another Lancs lad, Matt Critchley, obviously had a really nice career. But he was struggling at the time, I think, with the ball. So it's all a bit of a blur, to be honest. But I didn't think I was going to kind of break through until I probably arrived at the hotel. Yeah, after that week. And then I thought, you know what? I think you have like illusions of how tough it's going to be. But once you just pin your ears back and go for it, you realise, you know what, I can kind of hold my own here and kind of compete.
Okay. Interesting question for you next, because it encapsulates batting and bowling. So it might just be for Cal this, Matt. I don't know. Let's have a look. So to date, what's your most important batting and bowling performance and why? Go with you, Matt, first.
Is this pro or anything?
Anything. Most important batting and bowling performance today?
I need a minute for my batting one, but bowling most important or
yeah. Or most important to you.
Probably with a red ball. It was when I got 10 wickets in the game against Sussex in July this year. I hadn't played a red ball game all season. Had a bit of a tiff really about it, and then did well in that game, and that probably set me up for a good back end of the year, and that's what got me selected in the Test squad for New Zealand. With a white ball, I can't really look past my second T20 game against New Zealand when I got 4 wickets. So yeah, they're probably the two that stand out. But I think that it's hard to really look back because you only really care when you win. I know it sounds like a cliche, but when people say it, you often think that's bollocks. But the best days are when you put a long, hard shift in a red ball game and you bowl like 25 overs and you're absolutely knackered, and you look on the scoreboard and you might have only got, I don't know, 1 for 50, but the team have won.
Yeah.
Those days are probably the ones where I look back in 10 years and think they were the most special.
Okay. Any batting? Had anything come in for batting?
I've actually got a great stat for you, really. I'm not even sure Callum knows it, but I actually hold the 3rd highest 10th wicket list day batting stand. I got 15 not out against West Indies A, and Sam Hain got 150. And we put on 105 when we only lost by 6.
Happy days. So are we having that one in there? Are we having that one then?
Yeah. Or I got a quick fire 22 a few weeks ago in Sri Lanka.
Cal, let's come to you.
Bowling. Most important for me probably was my debut, just because what it's led to. Just that whole game, really. I think I took 7 wickets in the match, got 48 not out. And yeah, that set me up, because without that, I wouldn't be at Leicester. Obviously, that was for Derby against Leicester. So kind of that's probably my most important in terms of what it's led to and kind of the career option it gave me. Obviously, probably another one that stands out, I got 10 wickets in the match against Worcester. But obviously we lost. So like Matt said again, it takes the gloss off it. I think we got beat quite heavily. Most enjoyable one, I took 3 for 20 odd against Notts in the T20 at Trent Bridge, and it was packed. Just the atmosphere. And to be fair, playing at Old Trafford last year, I know we got beat, was good as well. So they're a few of the ones that stand out for me.
Well, last question. So it's one for you both, obviously playing at different counties, but someone sort of texted in and wants to know who's the best trainers at Lancs, who's the best trainer at Leicester. Matt, up to you.
Best trainer. Can't really look at Jennings, really. Keaton Jennings, he trains like an absolute machine. Always in the gym. If he ever has a drink, he just punishes himself the next day. So yeah, he's a proper beast. Anyone else? Yeah, the captain as well, Dane Billas, he trains well. In terms of cricketing, there wasn't many people that hit as many balls as Hasib when he was at the club. And yeah, Rob Jones as well, both batting and fitness. He's up there. I'm way down. I'm not a great trainer.
Cal, who's best at Leicester?
Best trainer. There's a few. Hassan Assad got 1,000 runs last year. He hits a lot of balls. Annoyingly, he hits in a lot of balls. He wants people bowling at him every hour of the day. Pretty sure he's a bit like Steve Smith, like bats in his sleep and stuff. And then apart from him, Gav Griffith's pretty good trainer. I think the seam bowls are hard to judge though, because obviously they have some days where they don't bowl, so they look like they're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Young lad Harry Swindles hits a lot of balls. But yeah, fairly decent standard. I think it's tricky because it's hard if you're playing all the time to kind of keep that up in training. You can almost burn out, especially with how long the winter can be, and then if you overdo it and you get to September, you're cooked. But yeah, them two probably stand out in terms of trainers.
Last question's one from me, and it's just I want your opinion in terms of the current situation we've got with coronavirus and what have you, and hitting the amateur clubs is totally different to how it hits the pro game. But in your opinion, I'm not going to hold you to it. Do you think we're going to get any cricket in this year at all, and when do you think that'll happen, Matt?
Any level below international cricket will struggle. I think unless there's going to be any broadcast deal made, then they'll, because it's not going to have any crowd, and then it's all about making money. This is for the pro game.
Oh yeah.
Club cricket, I don't know. I don't know whether club cricket could go ahead. I think they could. It'd just be whether they're aligned with the ECB or not. I think it'd be easier to not self-isolate, to socially distance in club cricket than it would be in professional cricket.
Yeah.
But again, most of the stuff that I know from what I've been told is in the press anyway. So at the minute, I'm preparing for hopefully maybe an England game or two, but we don't know much else really.
Cal, what do you think?
I think it's looking slightly better, isn't it? I think if you'd have asked me probably 2 weeks ago, I'd have said absolutely no chance.
Yeah.
But I'm not massive. I don't read much of the media stuff or anything. I think club cricket's got a chance. It's just I'm a bit kind of in the camp of not sure I'd want to play if there's all these measures in. Club cricket wise, like if you have to turn up in your kit, and that's not why I come back and play. Obviously played at Edgerton last year. It's not why I come back. I play to enjoy it socially, and I know obviously at the minute that's tricky, but I don't know. I see the financial difficulties, but fingers crossed they can get maybe a T20 comp in.
From an amateur club point of view, like there's an argument to say that if you can't have your clubs open, you can't have your bars open and stuff, then what's the point? And I think there's a lot of clubs in that boat. The revenue that they get from the bars and X, Y, and Z, it funds cricket. It funds paying the umpires, paying the scorers, paying the pros, whoever. If you can't open your clubs, then you're going to struggle to play any sort of meaningful cricket. But I think I'm of the opinion that hopefully we can get some sort of a decent T20 programming, maybe August onwards.
Yeah, I think that's similar to the game. Hopefully we can get a T20 blast in kind of mid-August. But yeah, we'll just see. Fingers crossed anyway, because the weather's been absolutely glorious, hasn't it? It's been a hell of a summer so far.
Yeah, it's been great.
It'll start raining when they say we can play.
Yeah, as soon as we get the green light, it'll start hammering it down. So, gents, that's the end of the questions. Thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. And obviously, from me and everybody watching, listening, we wish you all the best of luck with your cricketing careers, because obviously, you're still young lads and you're still just sort of starting out, and hopefully for many years to come.
Thanks, Billy.
Okay, guys. Thanks very much. Cheers, chaps.
Good night. Thank you.